You don't use willpower. You use that desire of, say, jealousy to go, shit, I can look just as good as them. So they've already created the programming or the frequencies for you to look, say, that good in that dress or that suit or that success or whatever it is. Most of you think that your emotions are you. I feel sad. Okay? No, your emotions are feeling sad. Right? That's very different, because when you say I feel sad, it's like you are sad internally. Right? It's not an emotion anymore. It's an identity that you have, especially if it's a long-term identity. Right? I'm always in a depressed state. So what do? Your demeanor, your body demeanor, all those things put you into a depressed state. Even if you're in a happy mode, you'll soon fall into a depressed state, because you've trained your cells, again, your genome, not your mind, but your genome, to be in a depressed state. So again, the first key element is to observe. Okay? And just to go a little deeper, why you should use negative emotions to accelerate you towards success or to happiness or to anything that you want. Because positive emotions like love, joy, passion, euphoria, those are very short-lived. They don't last long. They're like burning like newspaper for a fuel versus burning a hardwood for a fuel, if that makes sense to you, right? Again, they're very short-lived. They might have like spark, they might have that ignition, but again, they burn out really fast because they don't have, again, like a hardwood. Once it's set, once it's burning, it lasts a long time and it's ongoing. That's the negative emotions for you. So you want to have a mixture of both. Okay? Let me give you an example. If you look at anybody who's been successful and you read their biographies or autobiographies, as you take a breath in and just notice your spine, your neck, you'll start to see that one of the key factors in their success was a negative emotion. Something that triggered them so deeply that it's like, fuck, I've got to change. Right? Something that impacted them so deeply, like maybe hatred or maybe anger. Anger is actually used as a positive emotion. But in today's society, what do we do? We squelch that anger down, or we use it improperly. We use anger to explode. Okay? So again, it's not the tool. Emotions are tools. First, what happens is emotions are gauges, but then as you become an Xier, right? Xi, say compatible, you start to use your emotions just not as gauges, but then you start to use those emotions as powerful tools to get you into that direction. So an Xi person that you would use anger is basically the same as what I was telling you about. Read any autobiography. There was a point in time that people got pushed to a point, into a corner that they couldn't go anymore. And you see it in amazing scenarios. Okay? They get to a point. They're backed against the wall. They can't go any lower. They can't go any deeper, right? And then there's usually an emotion of anger. And it's like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. And what do? You explode directionally. Some people, unfortunately, they implode, and that's where they either commit suicide or whatever, okay? The wrong way to do it, or they explode. They'll go into alcoholism, again, addictions, things like that. Again, because of that anger, and that's where, like, I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, he started drinking. That's, again, improper use of, say, that anger. Successful individuals who've done it right, or Xiers, the way I train you, is that you get pushed, and then you use it as a directional force to get you the hell out of the hole that you've dug yourself into. So no matter what reason. So again, it's an explode, just like a rocket, right? That same thing say, propulsion mechanism, and that's what's happened to rockets. If they don't do it right, they explode. Like SpaceX, how many rockets have exploded? That's the reason why. But when they learn how to do it, again, it catapults them into, say, the higher environments or the higher consciousness, and that's what negative emotions are used for. Some of you who've gone through Exile, I'll give you some of the top emotions, like hatred, how to use hatred properly. Okay? So say that, and by the way, if anger was used to control you as a child, okay? And now as an adult. If guilt was used to control you as a child, if shame was used to control you as a child, as you go through the Exile process, those emotions, your higher self will use it to control you the proper way. Okay? Hatred will be used. Okay? So for example, anger. Right? Anger is a popular one. Your father, mother was always angry at you, and then you basically did just to make them happy, right? Whether you liked it or not, or it doesn't matter. They used anger to control you. You abided to that anger, right? Now you're awakened. So why would Exile use anger to control you? Because it's already proven that that emotion works on you. It's controlled you in the past. Again, Exile uses it as a tool. Those are your power tools, by the way. Your love tools, your joy tools, your happy tools, all those things, those are like finer, grit or smaller, like polishing tools for you, okay? But if you want the big job done, right, you want a power tool, okay? Those things that can excavate a whole shitload of stuff. Like say you're carving this beautiful statue out of wood or granite, what? You're gonna use a big ass chisel and a big ass hammer to, again, knock down those things that you don't want. That's what Exile does for you. It uses those negative emotions to knock down or chip away those pieces that you don't want. And then you use love, joy, and all those things, again, as finer, tinier tools, to get into the crevices and really create, say, the details that you want, right? That finesse. So, for example, again, if anger was used to control you, you're going to use anger, okay? Or anger will show up for you. And again, it's a positive, so don't walk away from it. Don't bury yourself, but observe that anger, and you'll see how your higher self will use anger to go, shit, I'm never going to let that happen to me again. Again, so you get pushed in that corner, and you get pushed and pushed if you don't use it properly, by the way, because XI is just a tool, right? It's not a feel-good mechanism. It's a tool. If you use it improperly, it'll destroy you, just like a chainsaw. If you use it improperly, you can cut your arms off. Otherwise, you can use it to, again, for its right purpose. So in this case, anger will be used to go, fuck, I'm never going to go there again. Or you're going to get into situations that you get abused and stuff, and you stand up and you have the power to go, fuck, I'm never going to get date raped or whatever it is that you normally say get into, unfortunately. Take a deep breath in. Jealousy, right? Most people go, oh, you shouldn't be jealous. Or, so let me explain how jealousy is used in Exile. Okay? So say that you've never been good enough, right? Most people never been good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good looking. You don't have the right, socioeconomic class, whatever, So again, and then most people use jealousy to go, basically what they do is they look at other people, they become jealous. Again, that's a negative way, and that's why negative emotion, again, jealousy has a negative taint to it, is they go, oh, who did she have to sleep with to get the job that she got? Again, that's jealousy, right? Or any other instance like that. But in jealousy and XI, you look at that people, again, once you, say, clean up, you look at jealousy and you actually admire that person, because that's what jealousy is really about. The first definition, or the pure definition of why, say, a God would, say, instill a program called jealousy in you, is to help you become awakened, right? It's not there to destroy you. It's not there to test you or any bullshit like that. It literally is a power tool for you, okay? So jealousy, as you awaken, you look at somebody and it's not like you destroy them or you cut them, oh, he probably successful because he's really greedy, or anything like that, right? Because people can say anything about anybody, right? Because again, if they're weak on their own self, right? They'll say anything. So again, you'll see somebody, you'll admire them, and you'll go, wow, and you'll get jealous. But the reason why you'll get jealous is like, wow, they look really good in that haircut, or they really look good in that suit, or wow, what did they do to accumulate that much business? Again, you start to admire what you want in them, not you don't hate what you aren't or you don't have. And then you get jealous, not towards them, but you get jealous about yourself, and you go, shit, why the fuck can't I have that? I would look just as good in that suit as they do, right? Or what do I have to do if, you know, your body's not in shape or whatever? It's like, well, what do I have to do to look as good as they did in that suit or in that dress or whatever? So you use it as a motivating factor or a power tool to really get your ass in gear. And this is where you don't use willpower, because willpower is very weak. Again, that's a positive, which is good. Again, you can use it, but again, it takes a lot of momentum and it destroys you if you use too much willpower. I can tell you huge names that use willpower or sheer strength to create success. They don't last long. It destroys their essence. But that's another podcast. So in this case, again, you don't use willpower. You use that desire of, say, jealousy to go, shit, I can look just as good as them. So they've already created the programming or the frequencies for you to look, say, that good in that dress or that suit or that success or whatever it is. And then you do it naturally because, again, you're running their program. You didn't steal their program. Okay? Basically, you duplicated their program of how or why they're successful. And then you use jealousy to keep motivating yourself from an internal level. So you're on autopilot to, again, accumulate or attract whatever, say, that you desired. Okay? There's plenty more of, say, how negative emotions are used as power tools to get you to where you want. And then it's like, well, where do you use the positive emotions? Because they go, well, love is the strongest emotion ever. No, it's really not. At the higher levels, love is an indicator or a gauge on how awakened you are. Okay? Again, it's like, I want the heat, but you don't know how to create that flame. So that's the problem with love. Okay? And besides, you know, love, again, you think it's so powerful, you know, you sprinkle a little jealousy in there, a little mistrust in there, a little insecurity in there. What happens to love? Love is a powerful effect, and it's so powerful, if you do it right, it'll gravitate you to the right direction. But you sprinkle a little bit of, again, jealousy, mistrust, again, all those distorted emotions the wrong way. What happens to you? That powerful tool attacks you, and then you destroy yourself. So again, yes, love is a powerful tool, but love, pure love, is basically higher levels of consciousness. That's where true love exists. So hopefully, this allows you or helps you how to, say, understand how to calibrate. Again, number one thing that you want to do is just observe your emotions. Don't get into those emotions. They're not real. They're not accurate. Okay? Just observe. They're not you. So just note, just observe. And as you observe, you start to recalibrate. And then some of the relationship events that we do, the 18 days, are really fantastic for you to, again, help you recalibrate after you listen to this podcast.